Kurt Angle is the surprise entrant at AEW's Revolution tomorrow. Now, like I said before, I'm going to go back to my bread and butter. My what if videos. So what if Finn Balor didn't get injured when he won the Universal title? Now, usually I will go into the wrestler, but in this case, I need to go into the title. Because the title was so young, it actually originated in SummerSlam in 2016. It was Seth Rollins versus Finn Balor to see who would be the inaugural champion. Finn Balor got injured during that match and had to relinquish it the next night. Now, when he did that, he actually was the first person to win a world title at their first pay-per-view, and the first person to win a world title in WWE within their first month of being drafted up. I forgot to add that they actually brought this title out because the WWE title was put on SmackDown. This is when they reintroduced the draft. So they had to put a World Heavyweight title on Raw, and this is what they used. So now we're back to square one. So they had to do a fatal four-way, but they did it with Roman Reigns, Kevin Owens, Big Cass, and Seth Rollins. And Kevin Owens ended up coming out on top due to an interference by Triple H. 188 days later, he loses it to Goldberg in 2 minutes, literally. Spear, jackhammer, end of match. Which was a build-up to his match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 33, where Brock Lesnar took the belt. Now, this is where everything goes downhill. So, this is why I say everything went downhill. Brock Lesnar held that belt for 504 days. He defended it 5 times, and in those 5 times were actually, he only came up on the show 10 times, including pay-per-views. So 5 of those times was either Raw or SmackDown. That was it. Now, if we look at the stats, by the time Brock Lesnar was either about to lose the title or around the 400-day mark, as you can see here, CM Punk had the title, but he actually appeared in 110 live shows, but he actually defended it 141 times. So that means he was actually in dark matches where the cameras were rolling, but it just didn't go on TV defending the belt, which shows like the exposure that they gave Brock versus the exposure they was giving CM Punk. So out of those 5 title defenses, Roman Reigns was like 3 of them, and he finally had beat him. But then he had to vacate the title 2 months later after beating him at SummerSlam to leukemia. So they had Brock Lesnar versus Braun Strowman for the Universal title, and Brock, of course, took it one more time. So Seth the Chef Rollins had beat Brock Lesnar for the belt at WrestleMania 35 after winning the Royal Rumble. Brock ended up getting the belt back again after cashing in the Money in the Bank, which he shouldn't even have had. Seth then beat Brock again at SummerSlam, but then things went downhill once more because he lost it to The Fiend. The Fiend ended up losing it to Goldberg, and then we had the whole pandemic era where Braun Strowman had beat him at WrestleMania 36. Now, the head of the table holds the title, finally. Now, back to my original question. What if Finn Balor didn't get injured? Now, this really could have been a workhorse belt like the NXT title, except on the main roster. Because in 2016, you had Cesaro, Sami Zayn, Rusev, Neville, Jack Swagger, Jericho, and a list of other people who could have went up for that belt and put on bangers with Finn Balor. Not to say that, they all would have been champion, but at least by now, if they would have gotten the opportunity or have been champion, we wouldn't be complaining that Cesaro's been there 10 years and never had a title shot. We wouldn't be complaining about a lot of the stuff that's going on. And right now, and Finn Balor never got a rematch for the title until like a year after he came back, and it was a crush win by Brock. And now that Finn Balor's back in NXT, he's showing Vince McMahon how he should have booked Finn Balor and the Universal title, because Finn Balor, since being back in NXT, has literally only had maybe a match a month and is the #1 guy in the franchise and is having 5-star matches at every pay-per-view. And even with all the silly stuff that does go on at NXT as far as match stipulations and vineyard titles and stuff like that, they have made him a serious character. He hasn't even brought out the whole demon persona at all. It's just been straight Finn Balor against whoever. So it's showing that you don't always have to do that big spectacular stuff in order to push a wrestler. So that's my video. Tell me what you think.